Hello and welcome to the webinar Dining Out Smart. My name is Julia Wilkins from the Health New England Health Management team. This webinar will not only inform you on why we don't eat out smart, but also you'll gain the tools to help you make the healthiest choice no matter where you are. I'm going to ask you a true or false question. Sugar can alter your brain chemistry. What do you think? This is actually true. A diet high in sugar reduces the production of BDNF. Without BDNF, we can't form new memories or learn anything. This also then contributes to impaired glucose metabolism or diabetes. Low BDNF levels have also been linked to depression and dementia, which are brain diseases. And the average American eats a lot of sugar. The USDA reports that Americans eat up to 156 pounds of added sugar per year. So if you were to buy a 5-pound bag at the grocery store, that's 30 of those bags per person per year. The CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, breaks this down to about 27.5 teaspoons of sugar per day per person, which is about 440 calories of an average 2,000 calorie diet. Remember, our bodies do need sugar to properly operate, but these statistics are added sugars. These statistics have changed so much throughout the last 40 to 50 years. In 1970, we spent about 25% of our food budgets on eating out. Today, that has doubled to 50%. It's no wonder there's a rise of obesity and type 2 diabetes. We consume about 40% of our daily calories by food prepared by others. And each time we do this, we're packing on an extra 134 calories than we would if we ate at home. So what does the 25% and 50% of our budgets look like? We are spending about $100 billion on fast food versus $6 billion back in 1970. That's a huge difference. So not only are we spending more on fast food, but fast food restaurants have increased their portion sizes. Look at the differences between the portion sizes in 1970 versus today. You are consuming 50% or more calories than you would have if you ate this food in 1970. Now if you were to go to a fast food restaurant and get a burger, fries, and a soda, look how much more you're consuming. And unfortunately, we are hardwired to consume what's in front of us. So if we're giving an 8-ounce burger, we're not going to eat 1.5 ounces, we're going to eat 8. A few studies have been done about consumption of fast food. 3,394 young adults were followed for about 10 years, and their BMI was measured during that 10 years. The study showed that the BMI of these individuals increased with the number of fast food meals that they ate. For each additional weekly fast food meal, participants' weight increased 0.9 to 1.7 pounds per year. Another study of 3,000 young adults for 15 years showed that those who consume fast food more than twice per week gain an additional 10 pounds with a 50% increased risk of obesity. There are so many more studies to show how fast food and large portions can impact our health. Very often these large portion sizes and restaurant meals are laden with high glycemic index foods. When your blood glucose levels rise, it can encourage weight gain, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, metabolic syndrome, and some cancers. We know that fruits and vegetables are a better option than a burger or a hot dog, but the reason is the caloric density. When it comes to our appetite, our brain signals the stomach based on volume. We eat until our stomach is full. We eat until our food volume is satisfied. A big salad can fill our stomach because it has more volume, but it has less calories. Burgers, hot dogs, french fries, and pizza all have high calories, but may not satisfy our stomach when it comes to volume, so we continue to eat more. Our portion sizes and caloric intake may be high, but so is our sodium intake. Sodium is in every processed food, whether at a restaurant or a packaged food at the grocery store. Right now, 88% of Americans take in more sodium or salt than the recommended 2,300 milligrams. And 75% of this comes from the sodium of processed foods. If our daily recommendation is 2,300 milligrams and we eat burgers and fries, we could exceed that recommendation by 200 milligrams in just one meal. Americans love sugar, salt, and fat. It tastes very good to us. And the more we eat them, the more we want them. We can actually rewire our brains to crave these foods. Instead of satisfying our hunger, these foods full of salt, fat, and sugar stimulate your brain to want more. Your brain is then gradually overloaded, and over time we need more and more of that food to get that same response of pleasure in our brain. This causes us to overeat. When we see a variety of things, for example, like 2 types of muffins, or a variety of flavor, like 2 different types of donuts, we want to eat one of each. And these foods are very low in fiber. We should be getting about 25 to 30 grams of fiber a day, but the average American only consumes about 12 grams of fiber. Because these are higher glycemic index foods, they digest faster and we want more, and don't help us because they have fewer nutrients. We also tend to overeat in things that have high saturated fats like cheese, butter, dairy, deep fried foods, bacon, etc. We want to limit these saturated fats to 7 to 10% of our diet, or 16 to 20 grams per day. So what can we do about this? Don't set yourself up for failure. When you dine out, first choose a place that provides healthy options. If you choose to dine at a steakhouse, you're probably going to eat steak. Choose a restaurant that has sandwiches, subs, or wraps. Then when you build that sandwich, focus on whole grain breads, lean protein like turkey, chicken, and roast beef. Add lots of vegetables and try to limit your portions by getting a 6-inch versus a foot long, or half a sandwich versus a whole one. Pay attention to what kind of cheese, if any, you're going to put on your sandwich, and try to avoid those high fat or high sugar sauces. Mustard is one example of a great option that has low calories with no fat or sugar. If you don't like sandwiches, maybe you can choose a salad or soup instead. Make sure that salad is balanced with some lean protein like grilled chicken, turkey, or boiled eggs. And avoid those cream-based dressings like ranch, Thousand Island, or blue cheese. There are a lot of additions in a salad that can add up in calories, so avoid croutons, bacon bits, potato salad, pasta salad, and chicken salad. If you're choosing soup instead, avoid cream-based or cheese-based soups. Go for tomato or broth-based ones. Chili is also a good option with lots of protein. There's not always a sandwich shop around, so if you are choosing to go to a burger chain, go for grilled or roasted chicken, or if you're really craving a burger, order a single patty hamburger that has a 1/4 pound of meat or less. Remember to beware of cheese and cream sauces, and choose to add a side of fresh fruit or a side salad instead of French fries. Restaurants known for their chicken may also be known for their fried chicken, so make sure you choose grilled or roasted versions, or even choose the barbecue chicken sandwich. If you get a piece of chicken with the skin on it, remove the skin. This actually will take off probably about half the fat and calories. Taco chains can actually offer a lot of great balanced options because their menu includes beans, chicken, fruits, and vegetables. If you decide to eat at a taco chain, choose grilled chicken in a soft taco, a bean burrito, a grilled chicken burrito, and lots of vegetables. Great sauces are salsa, guacamole, or reduced fat sour cream. Pizza might sound like a diet disaster, but pizza can actually be a great option as long as you choose the toppings smart. See if that restaurant offers thin crust or whole wheat crust. Pick a lot of veggies for toppings, and if you want a meat, choose grilled chicken. And remember, just because you build a healthy pizza doesn't mean you can eat the whole thing. Choose 1 to 2 slices for a serving. Always think about portion control. The general rule is that your meal should be the size of your 2 hands cupped together. This doesn't count your fruits or your vegetables. So when you're going out to eat, package half your meal before you start eating. Get a to-go container. Share the entree with the person that you're dining with. Choose a healthy appetizer as your main meal, or order a smaller portion instead of the large. Avoid words like grande, jumbo, supreme, or giant. Stick to words like mini, petite, small, or half portions. You can also make substitutions. Those great white hazards are those white carbohydrates that spike our blood glucose levels. Substitute those white potatoes, rice, and pasta with healthier alternatives. Some examples are vegetables, sweet potatoes, beans, brown rice, salad, or whole wheat pasta. Lots of restaurants have sides that you can choose from, so choose these instead of the great white hazards. Try to limit the pasta that you eat because restaurants usually serve up to 3 servings in one meal, and send back that bread basket so you're not tempted to eat it before your meal even arrives. You can also control your appetite before a party or going out to dinner so that you don't overeat. Eat a light snack about an hour before going out, like an apple or small handful of nuts. Order a side salad or a cup of soup as your appetizer, or drink a large glass of water before your meal arrives. These 3 things will help you eat less of a more caloric dense meal. Fruits and vegetables are basically something that you don't need to limit and that you can substitute for anything. You want to include these more and more into your meal. So don't be afraid to ask a waiter or waitress to substitute vegetables for another side. Another thought is to choose a big salad as your entree. If you're choosing dessert, make sure there's some fruit in there. Don't forget to do your fats right. Always ask your server if they can cook your food in an olive or canola oil when possible. Look for words on the menu like grilled, broiled, baked, roasted, or pan-seared. If you want to choose that red meat, like a steak, make sure it's a smaller portion, like 6 ounces. If you're taking on one of our previous tips and ordering a big salad, request an oil-based vinaigrette instead of a creamy sauce. White sauces, Alfredo, and fried foods should be avoided as much as possible. These 3 things are high in saturated fats. Swap out the higher glycemic index foods for those with lower glycemic index. Look for things like whole grain like brown rice, wild rice, barley, or quinoa. Select sweet potatoes over those white potatoes, and always choose whole wheat or multigrain if available. Beans in any form are always a great option. The protein part of a meal is what people think of the most. If you really want to have that red meat, make sure it's a lean cut and have a smaller serving like 6 ounces. Always opt for grilled, broiled, baked, roasted, or pan-seared. Seafood is a great option for a protein. It has lots of omega-3 fatty acids and very little saturated fat. Choose options like salmon, tuna, or shellfish. Lean poultry like chicken or turkey, and vegetarian options like beans or tofu are all healthy proteins. Even if it's seafood or lean poultry, always avoid the fried version. So now that you've learned smart ways to dine out, have some fun with our challenge by completing the crossword puzzle. If you have any further questions, you can always contact the health management team at healthydirections@hne.com. We hope this helps you the next time you're dining out to be prepared on making the healthiest choices for you and your body. Thank you for taking part in this webinar and have a great day.